Technology has gone to another level. I was recently in Kansas City and I have the carrier Google Fi, which is a wireless plan. I was underneath this cell phone tower in Google, near near Google in Kansas City. Now this isn't the Google cell phone tower, but this is about a 20 to 40 story cell phone tower, absolutely humongous. I was able to get speeds of 900 megabytes per second. That's almost a T1 download. Now, I only got 96 upload, but I mean, I'm using a cell phone wirelessly. I mean, come on, that's insane to get 100. Like, most of you guys only have like 5 or 15 or 20 upload. My cell phone has 100 upload. All right. I can't find data on Tesseracts. Now, I've used quality of service 1 Tesseracts with Tesseract companies, like communication network companies, botnet companies, and I was able to basically play LAN with Korea. LAN in League of Legends, like on the live servers, like LAN, LAN. I found people that were so connected. So connected that we were able to basically handshake with Korea instantly. It was seamless. Now, you might not believe in that yet, but that's because you're underneath the client phase of reality. You are using basically this network to access Korea. You are using networks like this. You might be using wired networks, but we're talking about wireless, non-parallel, gravitonal, non-parallel C, proprietary, super ordered, multi-million, multi-trillion even dollar networks that have basically armies, working day in, day out in order to, build up power and energy and control within the order grid. What I wanted to talk about more is I wanted to talk about Lego and a program called LISA. LISA is going to be a laser interferometer space antenna. Basically, LISA is this right here. It's basically lasers in space, super far away from each other, bases, that will read the micro edits in the waves in order to 3D print the universe, which helps aid Tesseracts. With this kind of data, it could be automatically wirelessly translated to Tesseracts, like the military grid and more, the Earth grid. And, Verizon and Google are also going to be benefactors of sciences like this one day, because it will help predict the waves that are coming in from space. So then our Tesseracts can be even faster and more powerful and more micro ordered, because we know where the particles are going to line up when we get to infinitely small micro orders that are easily corruptible by things like gravity waves from events that happened trillions of years ago or however many years ago. But anyway, what I wanted to talk about is how much computation is going on Earth. If you aim a telescope and connect it to a grid like this, and the telescope doesn't have to be a telescope. This LiDAR, Lego LiDAR, LISA, all of these things, telescopes, they're all basically the same exact thing. They're just collecting momentum from super far away, or like far away, or like nearby. It doesn't matter. Basically, you can tap into aged light. You can mutate the lenses of the eyes that you're creating and tap into different ages of light, which is called LiDAR, LIDAR, LiDAR. Now, light is a variable. It's not a finite thing. You think that LiDAR is one thing, but it's actually infinite non-parallel. Like, LiDAR is also used in gamma and beta and alpha. Any kind of wave you can possibly imagine, any gravitational wave you could ever create, there's LiDAR for it. Light is just basically, it just means that you can see it. Our current definition of light is, within an exact formula. But C, the letter C in E equals mc squared, does not follow that rule. The letter C is assumative to that which is visible by an eye, which is different. It's different. It's a different thing, but it's not at the same time. We're talking about just collecting momentum here and trying to figure out what's there and plugging it into our life support, basically, right? Why can't I find out how much data Tesseracts are computing nowadays, or conglomerations are computing per second or per hour? It's actually super proprietary. It could lead to extrapolation relative to like mass hack, conglomeration warfare, alien warfare, government warfare, all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of sealed and proprietary. Even the company themselves might not want to know that. They would only want to sequester the data within isolated cells in order to keep the data, not public, right? And to kind of figure out like, oh, we're losing energy here and we don't know why. So we research around the area and figure out all that, right? To figure out where you're getting hacked and where you're losing money and that kind of stuff. Anyway, that's besides the point. What I'm trying to say is that when you have the power of these giant tesseracts, and we recently found 10 billion plus additional years of light, meaning we found the algorithm of light. Like basically we were trying to backtrace the algorithm of light. Now here's also the problem, is we're also trying to find non-parallel dimensions. Now they're right here in the moment. They're right, they exist no matter what. It's a thing about like, how do we dial into the light? How do we create the eyeball necessary in order to see it? And here is a problem that I just brought up earlier when I was talking with somebody. I was talking to them about the need to look at microscopic things, and how you create the need to create microscopic things is basically a microscope, right? A microscope, if it's bigger, it's cheaper in the moment, until you can create smaller scale replicas of it, in which will take longer time and it'll take more work, eventually leading to higher states of micro order visibilities. Now, when we get super, super, super advanced in this, and I'm talking like cure blindness with a touch advanced, like Jesus over here, we're talking on to the next level, is like this infinite grind where you're trying to infinitely permutate dimensions. And this word dimensions is such a big homonym. It means so many different things that are all different than each other. And I'm not trying to like scare you by the vastness of the word dimensions. There are infinite dimensions, and then there's pretty much infinite homonyms of dimensions, which are completely a different word that I'm trying to say to you. Like, it's so hard to use this word dimension. I'm literally strictly talking about light oscillation patterns and eyeball operation patterns, and that's pretty much it, and mass operation patterns, and that's it. That's just three parts: mass oscillation, light oscillation, and then your eyeball oscillation. That's what creates your visible equilibrium. That's what you see the universe with, is three parts. And it's all about that reaction and the difference there and the dilation. But anyway, I hope this enlightens you guys a little bit and helps you understand what's going on in the universe a little bit better. Matthew out. Peace.